Welcome to the best gambling show on the internet. This is the home of the money pick. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe. Week 9 over-unders to bet. I'm looking forward to it. Let's dive right in. We're going to Green Bay. We got the Carolina Panthers at the Green Bay Packers. Over under 45. I'm going to go under. And we got news that Bryce Young was a full go in practice today. But even with that added to the litmus, I'm going to go under. There's not a lot of science here. I just don't trust this Panthers offense to play a clean football game. And I'm not sure they're going to be able to get the run game going against Green Bay. And if the Panthers get down 2 scores like they did against the Bills, there's no way for them to run the football. And then you saw what happened. I'm going to go under the 45. Not a lot of science. Next game, we're going to the Meadowlands. We got the San Francisco 49ers at the New York Giants. Over under 49. I'm going to go over. Although, I'm sure this is going to be a lot of people's bet if they're going to bet the totals this weekend. I would just caution and remind people this will probably be Mac Jones against Dart. And I do wonder with this Giants offense, firstly, we got to give Dart his credit. He's been absolutely phenomenal. I'm shocked he's done what he's put forth without Malik Neighbors. But guys, am I the only one who thinks Scatterboo getting injured the way he was injured? Do I think that's just a step too far? Who's going to help Jackson outside of Wan'Dale Robinson? I'm going the over because this is a bottom 5 49ers defense that's banged up. They can't cover anyone. But just be cautious here. And the 49ers offense isn't smelling like a rose themselves. Let's be honest about it. But both bad defenses. I'm going over the 49. Next game, we got the Chicago Bears. The Bears at the Cincinnati Bengals. Over under 51. Money, money, money. When you say Bengals, I say over. Now, the only intrigue here and the only caution I want you to have with this over 51 in Cincinnati is we need to watch Joe Flacco's health because today's Wednesday and he didn't practice today. I didn't know what to make of that bruised shoulder. I'm assuming he's going to play. If it's Browning, you need to rethink this decision. But let's just assume Flacco's playing and let's just say Flacco's going to be a little bit limited. Man, I'm worried about this Bears defense, and I didn't like it coming into the year, but the injuries are starting to stack up, especially in the secondary. They have a good defensive end out that complements Sweat. I just worry about this Bears defense, and I think they're in for a rough patch in the second half of the season. Speaking of rough patches, it's been a year and a half of just pure suffering for the Bengals defense, and with Trey Hendrick's injury, whether he's in, whether he's out, doesn't make that big damn bit of difference. Outside of Dax Hill, are there any players on the Cincinnati defense who you trust who can even make 1 or 2 plays a game? I'm not seeing it, man. I know Caleb Williams is the limiting factor here, and he limited the Bears' offense against the Ravens. But there's levels to this, and I think the Bengals get to 27-30, and the Bears will do enough against the poor Bengals defense. I'm going over the 51. Make it a damn money pick. Next game, we got the Indianapolis Colts at the Pittsburgh Steelers. Over under 50. I'm going over, but it's more so because the Colts. But, guys, I don't have a lot of science for this. But I do want to say, am I the only one who has a hard time going over on these Steelers games? Because I'm a big Aaron Rodgers fan, and I think he's been very good this year. But I have a hard time going over in Steelers games just because of the lack of weapons and complementary pieces for Aaron Rodgers on offense. Outside of DK Metcalf, who I don't think DK Metcalf's had a good year. What do the Steelers really have on offense? And I know they've ran the ball well in some games. Guys, I'm just not in love with this offense. But I'm going to go over this game. It's because the Steelers are playing like a bottom 5 defenses. And there's some absolute putrid defenses in this league, but we have to be honest. Look at what the Steelers have done on defense, and they've done absolutely nothing. I'm going over the 50, and I need to remind everyone the Colts offense is a house, and I've been saying it the whole year. Next game, we got the Los Angeles Chargers at the Tennessee Titans. Over, under 43.5. I'm going to go under. There's not a lot of science. I know you guys like Cam Ward, and I see a lot of things in him. I like the way he slangs the ball. I like the physical tools. But to be honest, I just haven't been impressed this year, and there's a lot of excuses to make for the kid, and I completely get it, but I'm going under. I'm just not in love with Cam Ward. I'm not in love with the Titans offense, and I'm not in love with Mike McCoy. Under 43.5. I have no fucking science. Next game, we got the Denver Broncos at the Houston Texans. Stroud, over, under 40. Money, money, money. Money, obviously. This isn't one I love doing. Over, under 40 is a really low total, firstly. And going under on it is playing with fire. So let's just put that out there into the space and let that linger a little bit. But here's my analysis for this game. I think there's 2 elite defenses in this league at this point in time. The Houston Texans are number 1, and the Denver Broncos are number 2. And then you look at this Texans offense. Credit to Stroud. He showed what he can do last week when he's protected against the 49ers. But he's not going to be protected this week. This is a Broncos front that gives trouble to good offensive lines. Can you imagine what they're going to do to Stroud in that offensive line? Like, there's going to be 5-6 sacks, and I'm sure Stroud is already bracing for the pain. And this game comes down to, can Bo Nix or Stroud make more plays, pull more rabbits out of the hat? On the other side, we have Bo Nix, a guy who's been really, really disappointed this year. I've never been like a big Bo Nix guy. I didn't get on that bandwagon last year, but we have to be honest. Like, the kid was impressive, and he was hitting a lot of deep balls and just making a lot of plays and extending them at the same time. But I just think this Texans secondary is going to be to these receivers like glue. And outside of Cortland Sutton, none of these guys have really emerged. Like, even a guy like Franklin, a guy like Marvin Mims. Mims I trust, but sometimes I just don't get the ball to him. And there's a lot of long balls to Franklin, and he just doesn't make the play. And you're going to need to make plays against the Texans defense, and I'm just not sure the Broncos are going to be able to do it. I'm going under the 40, make it a damn money pick, and I think the winner of this game is the winner that gets to 20 points. One of these teams is going to go under 20 points, and that's my analysis for the under 40. Make it a damn money pick. Next game, we got the Atlanta Falcons at the New England Patriots. Over, under 44.5. Money, money, money. Borderline. As borderline as they come. I'm going to go over. And I know this over doesn't make a lot of sense. Like, firstly, this is an Atlanta defense that I think they're weak against the run, and I think you can pound it. And I think a way to limit a team that blitzes well is to run it at them. And I think that's what the New England Patriots will do, and that's what they're going to try to do, although the Patriots haven't been great at running the football this year. But I mentioned the Falcons' blitz packages, and they've been phenomenal this year, and that's a big factor in this game. But another big factor in this game is Drake May. He's been absolutely MVP caliber at times this year, and one thing he does is he gets a lot of pressure. He gets hit a lot. This Patriots offensive line just isn't where it needs to be, nor is the receiving core, but that's a different story for a different day. But Drake May has been taking a lot of quick pressures. But the thing with Drake May and guys like Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, they extend the play. They're able to beat that pass rush and extend the play and work the ball down the field. And that's what I think Drake May does. On the other side, you have a Falcons offense that looks like it's getting Penix back. I do not like Penix. And obviously, this isn't a great matchup for the Falcons offense. What do the Patriots do well on defense? I feel like they're good in the front seven, and they're good at staying in their run fits, and they're very good against the run. That's what Atlanta does best. But I do think the Falcons can throw the ball. Can Penix and company complete enough passes? Can they work this fragile Patriot secondary enough to push this over? I know Drake May will do his part. I think Penix and company do just enough. I'm going to go over the 44.5, borderline money pick. Next game, we got the Jacksonville Jags at the Las Vegas Raiders, over under 45. I'm going to go under. But guys, there's no science, and the reason why there's no science in this one is I don't know what Raiders offense we're going to see. I really don't. I don't know what to expect from them. I'm expecting Brock Bowers to play in this game, which I'm sure will help Geno. I'm also expecting to see Jacoby Myers, although we know he's not fully interested. So I don't know how much he's going to offer in the help and support that Geno Smith desperately needs. But I'm going to go under because both quarterbacks turn the ball over a lot. I don't have a lot of science. Next game, we got the Minnesota Vikings at the Detroit Lions, over under 47.5. I'm going to go under. But the money is the 19.5 team total for the Vikings. I'm going to go under and make it a damn money pick. And obviously it hurts me to do this. And the fundamentals aren't great because obviously this game could turn into a blowout situation. It could turn into a 2 or 3 score Lions lead, and there could be some garbage points from the Minnesota Vikings. But I think this team total is worth it. And before we talk about J.J. McCarthy, I'm worried about this Vikings offensive line. And you saw what they did to the Bucs offensive line before the Lions slid into their bye week comfortably. And I worry about that Vikings offensive line, and we don't know if Darrisaw is going to play. And if Darrisaw plays, sometimes it's worse because he leaves the game in 8 to 10 minutes, and then the Vikings are scrambling, trying to patch together an offensive line that's already bad. And this offensive line in the interior has been just as bad, even though they spent big money with Ryan Kelly and Will Fries. So I just think this Lions defense controls the game in the front, and this Lions secondary is going to get healthier, and they're going to get reinforcements and branch. So I just worry about the Vikings, and I worry about their quarterback position. So I'm going to go under the 19.5. It's a money pick for the Vikings. The over-under is 47.5, and I'm going to go under in that. I don't have a lot of science, but I like the Vikings under team total. Next game, we got the New Orleans Saints at the Los Angeles Rams, over under 43.5. I'm going to go under. And it's because of Tyler Shough. But also, actually, I don't know. It's not because of Tyler Shough, although I'm very low on him. I did not like what I saw in the Bucs game. I certainly didn't like what I saw out of him in the preseason. But I'm worried about this Saints offense from a wide variety of reasons. Like the Eric McCoy injury at center is hurting their offensive line, and they're not able to pick up a blitz, and they're not winning many battles one-on-one. And I think this Rams defensive line is grossly underrated, and I think this Rams defensive line controls the game and controls the tempo. And I mentioned Shough and not getting enough help, and you look at the way Olave has been playing. Look at the way Rashid Shaheed played last week against the Bucs. like I said, there's just not a lot of help. And I also think Shuck's not going to add anything. And I think Rattler was fine besides the turnovers. But also these wide receivers are turning the ball over every time they touch the ball, it feels like. So, and the Saints team total is 14.5 for a reason. It's low, and that's about as low as you're going to get in this league. And for the Rams, the reason why I'm going under is I don't know how motivated their offense will be. And I also, secondly, I feel like the Saints defense has been a little bit of a surprise, and I know they haven't been a good unit at all, and they've gotten beat up some games, but you have to look at just the game flow, the turnovers from the offense, and the bad positions the Saints defense finds themselves in and week out. I'm going to go under the 43.5. Next game, we got the Kansas City Chiefs at the Buffalo Bills, over under 52.5. Obviously, everyone wants to go over, right? But I'm going to go under. I'm going to go under. I just feel like this is a scenario where it's going to be a playoff type atmosphere. I think both teams want to slow the game down. Like, for instance, I don't think this Bills team is explosive on offense at all. Outside of James Cook and Shakir, what weapons does Josh Allen really have to work with? And I think the Bills' best path to victory is running the ball with James Cook and being a physical team and using their offensive line. And I feel like the weakness of the Chiefs' defense is the run defense, and I think the Bills need to explore that, and I think they will explore that because, like I said, like these guys aren't helping Josh Allen a lot on the outside. On the other side, this is a Chiefs offense that they can take off at any time, and this is a great matchup against the Bills. Pat Mahomes against this Bills defense that's banged up. They're banged up on the defensive line in the interior. They've been banged up in the secondary the whole year. Secondary wasn't great going into the year, but I'm going under because of game flow. That's the only thing I can think of. Obviously, everyone wants to bet the over, and I'm not trying to stop you guys. I'm going under the 52.5 in Buffalo. Next game, Sunday Night Football. We got the Seattle Seahawks at the Washington No Names, over under 48. I'm going to go under. Like, guys, I don't have any science, but it's just a vibe, and it's a strong vibe, and I know, like, there wasn't a lot to take from the Commanders' performance against the Chiefs on Monday Night Football, but maybe I'm just spitballing here, but did anyone else see a little bit of progress from the Commanders' defense? I mean, that's not saying a lot because they allowed Michael Penix to look like Dan Marino, and that man-to-man defense they've been playing this year just hasn't been hitting. They haven't been sticking to wide receivers, and at times it's been absolutely shambolic and ugly. I get it. But I do think they made some progress, and I do think this will be a close game, and I think this Commanders offense also has their issues, and it looks like we're going to get Mariota again, and I don't think Mariota played bad against the Chiefs, but also I think that's about as good as Mariota can play at this stage in his career, and I really like the Seattle defense, and I actually really like the Seattle front. Like, I think you can get at this Seattle secondary if you can protect, but the point is, can the Commanders protect and Mariota work it downfield? Guys, I'm not sure. I'm going under the 48. Next game, we got the Arizona Cardinals at the Dallas Cowboys, over under 54. You say Cowboys, I say the over. 54 is really high, but we don't know if we're getting Jacoby or Kyler Murray, and that factors in my decision. If we're getting Jacoby Brissett, this is a strong lean towards the over. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you share the videos. The best gambling show on the internet. Let's get this money.